Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Toni and I'm a homeschooling mom to 4 kids. And I have been homeschooling now for 7 years. We'll be starting our 8th year here in the fall. What I want to talk about today is something that I have discovered is a life-changing thing in our homeschool. And we've been doing it for a handful of years now. And it's called year-round homeschooling. Now you may have heard of this before. It may sound crazy, like why would you want to do school all year round? I'm going to explain today what exactly it means, why it works for our family, and why I probably will never go back. So if you want to hear about year-round homeschooling and why we choose to do that, then stay tuned. Okay, so what prompted me to want to talk about this week in May, when everybody else is either done with school or almost done with school, is because we aren't done with school. We're not really super close to being done, but the reason is because we are year-round homeschoolers. And if there's other people that are in the same boat, I don't want you to be discouraged looking on Instagram or Facebook or just talking to friends who are like, oh, we had our last day of school, or oh, yay, we're all done. And your kids might be like, oh, we're never gonna finish, or you might be like, oh, we're never gonna finish. You know, I feel that way too sometimes. But this is something I have to go back and remind my kids that we do things differently. We don't school from end of August, September 1st through mid-May. That's not us. We don't take the entire summer off. I'm going to share with you why we don't do that. I'll give you a little peek into what our schedule, loosely using the word schedule, typically looks like. I'm not a major scheduler. A lot of these other moms, even year-round homeschool moms, will show you, I plan this out, and we do this many weeks of this, and then we take this week off. That's not how I do it. I am pretty laid back when it comes to our homeschooling. Number one is flexibility. Flexibility is just my favorite thing about homeschooling because that's how we are. We are a very spontaneous family. There have been times where we're like, we want to pick up and go. My husband will surprise us and be like, hey, pack the kids' bags and we're gonna go somewhere overnight. There's these really cool tree houses where we live, and we would rent a night in the tree house, and it would probably be on a Tuesday because it's cheaper. If you want to go stay somewhere overnight, if you stay during the week, it's way cheaper than if you stay Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like everybody else. It's also usually not booked, but you can get a much better deal. Flexibility of being able to take that Tuesday and Wednesday off is amazing. So if you are a spontaneous family, if you like to, you might want to pick up and go visit family, or you might just want to go away for the weekend, or if you just want to not do school that day and go to the park or something like that. It's nice to be able to start early enough that you can take that time off, and you know you've got the entire year. You don't have to cram everything in from September to May, or whenever the schools usually do their school schedule. You have a wider range of your dates, and you can take time off whenever you want. That has been huge for us. Another reason that fits in with that flexibility, ever since we had kids, my husband has worked a rotating shift schedule. He's a police officer, and he has always had crazy schedules, always. So not only did he work like an entire year of second shift, and then the next year he works an entire year of first shift. The other thing is he doesn't work Monday through Friday. It rotates. So he might have his Friday is what we call it. So his Friday might actually be on a Tuesday. So he might be off Tuesday and Wednesday. Then the next month he'd be off Wednesday and Thursday. And then the next month he's off Thursday and Friday. If you homeschool and you are strict with, oh, we got to do school Monday through Friday, you never get to see daddy. Then when he's home, you're doing school. And then when you're off on Saturday, he's at work. So what worked for us was being able to be flexible, being able to take time off when daddy's home. So when my husband is home and he was off on a Tuesday and Wednesday, I tried really hard not to take both days off, because there was usually stuff where he could do yard work, or he could, he had stuff he needed to do. But if we wanted to, I always wanted to have like a family day where we did something. We'd go down to Amish country or whatever we would do. And it was so nice to be able to take that day off and either shift our schedule and we'd do school on Saturday that week, or this is the other part of it, 4-day-a-week school, which many years we have done school 4 days a week. There's some curriculum that are set up that do 4-day-a-week school, and they have it all scheduled out. They plan it out for you. It's really nice. If you do 4 days a week school, you can take time off you could take a field trip. If you want to go to the zoo one day, you have that day that is flexible, and you can take that day off and just shift your days over. If you wanted to take time off for co-op, that there is a chunk of the year where we are a part of a co-op and it meets on Tuesday afternoons. We have never been very successful at getting our schoolwork done before co-op, and we're always exhausted after co-op. So we might do a little bit on Tuesday if we really need to, but typically we just would take Tuesday off. That would be our off day. Vacation is another thing. I didn't grow up going on vacation ever. We didn't have any money. We may have gone on vacation once, but we pretty much never went on vacation. I don't think my husband's family went on vacation much either. So that's something we want to do for our kids. So we have always gone on vacation. Every single year we take a week. Do I want to take vacation in the middle of June with every single other person in the world in a super packed beach? No. Never. No. My husband would never even consider that either. Would it be nice to go in the summertime, to actually go to the beach in the summertime? Yeah, it would be nice. But, we just don't. We've done stuff like that on weekends and things like that during the summertime. But our week-long vacation is almost always either end of October, beginning of November, before it starts to get super cold. And it is amazing. We went to Myrtle Beach a couple years ago in November, somewhere like mid-November. We were literally the only people on the beach. This was our kids' first time ever seeing like the actual ocean, an actual beach. Like we've done lake beaches and things like that, but they're actually seeing this. And it was so amazing to take pictures of my kids. Like there wasn't all these random people in here and I'm trying to find like, okay, which one's mine? It's so nice. It was so peaceful. We could sit down. My kids could actually walk because there's nobody else on the beach, and they could walk down and I could still, keep an eye on them without having to stand behind them. If we did not do year-round homeschooling, it'd be a lot harder to squeeze in a week's vacation, in November, then take off at least half a week for Thanksgiving, then take off a week or two for Christmas. There's no way you could really get everything done and take that time off if you do normal schooling, the school schedule, So that's huge for me. So being able to just be flexible, take time off when we need to take off. And I do have to remind my kids sometimes when their friends are finishing up in school and we're not, I have to be like, do you remember? They were doing school when we were at the beach. I have to remind them that sometimes, but I think overall they really do enjoy it. My loose schedule kind of depends on what's going on in our life that year. There have been years where I've had a baby. I had a baby due in August. He's turning 6 this year, so it's been a few years. But the year that my son was due, he was born August 26th. His due date was somewhere around there. I kind of planned for maybe taking a month off if we needed to take a month off. We ended up only needing a couple weeks off. What we did that year was we started school in July. It was like maybe right after the 4th of July or something like that. We went ahead and worked from, say, July 5th, July 6th or something like that through a couple days before the baby was born. Then I had my baby, took a couple weeks off, and then I realized everything's good. I'm ready to start back at school. The girls were ready to have some structure, so then we started up again. It made it so much easier when we had something like a baby or years where we had moved. We've moved quite a few times. So if you are someone who has a big move coming up, if you start earlier, then you can plan on if you're moving in October. If you start in July or if you start in the beginning of August or whenever you want to start, you have those couple weeks or a month before you would normally start. Then when you get to October 4th, when you're supposed to have your move date, you get to take time off for school. So you take those few weeks off that you need to take off for moving, for unpacking, or maybe the week before move, you have to pack, and then you can get back into school. But you knew you took that time away from your summer break and you started early, so you're able to take the time off. So whether it's moving, whether it's having a baby, there's so many different things that come into the homeschool that can be interruptions for your homeschool year. If you start at a starting point that's maybe earlier than everybody else, you can take time off throughout the year. And this has been a life changer for us. So the second reason that we do year-round homeschooling is because I really think it's important to do shortened summer breaks. A couple years ago, I was so burnt out in May. We finally finished school. I don't know why it was a hard year, but it was. I don't remember what was going on. I was done. I was like, I need the entire summer off. I took the entire summer off, and then we started, last week of August, September, whatever it was. And I felt like my kids literally forgot everything that we learned, everything. So we had to spend the first couple weeks of school reminding them how to do this math thing that we've been working on, or reminding them what nouns are, or whatever it was. It was like they forgot everything. And I remember when I was in school, a lot of times once you get out of school and you got your summer break, like all that stuff that you learned is gone. That's how I felt like it was with my kids. So when we take these shortened summer breaks, we'll typically work like this year. We're gonna finish, I told them last day of June we'll be done. We're gonna take the month of July off. First week of August, we will start, August 1st. We will start school. Just that short little time, we're not gonna have to review a bunch of stuff. It's only a month off of school. They're not going to have forgotten everything. But 2.5 months, I feel like a lot of stuff needed refreshed. There was this one curriculum that we used, Christian Light Education, for their math especially. They plan on kids taking this big chunk of school off. They have these little light units. You get 10 light units for the year. The first light unit is review. If you just finished, say it's a first grader, and they just finished book 10, and you're only starting either a couple weeks later or a month later, you don't even have to do book 1 because you just did all that. It's just review to try to refresh what did we forget over the summer. So we were always able to just start in book 2, and it was a big perk. So it was huge for me it's a huge time saver. You're wasting all that time in the beginning of the year reminding them of everything. I mean, it's not everything, but they forget stuff. And they're still kind of in summer mode. So that was huge. Just being able to do shortened summer breaks really made a difference. I feel like they had better retention because they didn't have that time for the stuff to just fly out of their heads. It just gave us a better flow into the new year. You start this new school year, you just go right into it. You don't have this huge chunk of time that you have to figure out how to work your way back into it. So I love that. And for us, I feel like I'd rather take time off sporadically throughout the year rather than just a big chunk in the summer. It's hot in the summer. Our kids will go outside and play and then it's too hot and then they come in and then they get bored and what do I do? All this stuff. I don't want to deal with that for 2.5 months. This kind of leads me into my third point, which is for me, our kids just do better with structure. When they have 2.5 months off for summer break, they fight. They whine, they complain, they're bored. If you take too much time off, you're gonna be dealing with that. If our kids know they have 1 month off to really enjoy being outside and really enjoy, we're still gonna have some fights and we're still gonna have some complaining and stuff like that. But it's not nearly gonna be as bad as, a couple months into it and you're like, go play, go find something to do. It's not as bad. And I really think having that tiny little time there, then we can have some time off in the fall and some time off in the winter. If we get a huge snowstorm and they want to go sled at Mimi's house, they can do that. They can take a day off to do that because we homeschool year round. In the spring, you've got a beautiful day, first day of spring, you want to go do something as a family, you can take that day off. So I love being able to spread it out. I just love being able to take time off throughout the year rather than just a big chunk in the summer. Year-round homeschooling is going to look different for every family. Like I said, with us, ours is not necessarily planned out. I plan out what we're gonna do. If I have my planner out and the stuff we decide to take Friday off, what I do is I take all that stuff in the Friday column and I go move it to the Monday column. We just keep going. We just make sure we finish our math curriculum. We make sure we just get everything done. You don't have to do it Monday through Friday in order to be a successful homeschooler. You can do it Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, or you can do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. However you want to do it, as long as your kids are learning, your kids are learning. They're learning when they're doing, everyday thing. My daughter was making cookies this morning and she was trying to double a recipe that asked for so much butter. Oh my word, I can't tell you how much butter it was. I was like 14 tablespoons of butter and she was trying to convert it into cups because she was doubling the recipe and didn't want to do 28 tablespoons of butter. She's learning. She had to figure that out. Your kids are learning every day, all day long. Don't feel like you have to do Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 or whatever. Homeschool, that's the beauty of homeschooling. Being flexible, doing what fits your family. If your husband's off, like our dad, through random times throughout the week, don't make your kids miss out on hanging out with daddy because you feel like you have to do school on Tuesday. Shift your schedule around and make it work for your family. It really will make it worth it. I've never regretted it. The one time in the last couple years that I regretted how we did our school was the time we took that whole summer off. And it was just, I felt like once we started the year, because we were used to taking time off for vacation and for different days, random days and stuff, I felt like I was behind all year and I didn't like that feeling. So I won't be doing that again. But that's just what works for us. One other thing that is a big perk for this, if you have any unexpected sickness in your family, it can happen. And if you feel like no matter what, we've got to work, Monday through Friday, and we've got to be done by May 15th, or we're a failure, or whatever it is, you cannot predict what's going to happen. My husband has been struggling for about 6 months with this long hauler, major health issues. He has not been able to work for a couple months. There was a whole month in March, I think it was, where I ended up having to drive him to so many doctor's appointments multiple times a week. If I wasn't able to be flexible with our homeschooling and say, oh, sorry, we got to do school, I can't drive you today. And he couldn't drive. He mentally was not able to drive because of all the stuff that was going on with him. That's kind of just misses the whole point. The whole point, you need to be flexible. You need to do what works for your family. We are finishing later than I normally would like to this year, but we had a lot going on. It was a hard year for us, but we got through it, and we're going to push through, and we're going to enjoy the rest of our homeschool. It's a blessing to be able to be flexible when you need to be flexible and not have to tell everybody, no, we can't do this. No, we can't do this. And the other thing is, when we're schooling in the summertime, when we do school in August, or if we're doing school in July, and all my daughter's friends are going to the pool that day, I'm not going to tell her no. We will take the day off of school. She gets to go to that. My daughter, they usually do summer camp. So we do take, we'll start school, they'll go to camp for a week, and then we'll come back and do school some more. So I don't tell them no because we're doing school, during the summer. I make sure if we have friends that are going to the zoo or something like that, we take the time off. So I'm flexible all year round. We get our schoolwork done. My kids are doing great. They're learning, and that's all that matters. So that is why we do year-round homeschooling. I hope this made sense. It's not a black and white thing, so it is kind of hard to explain, but I hope you got a little glimpse into how we do it and why we do it. Be flexible. I'm just a spontaneous, flexible person. It makes life so much more fun and interesting. I hope this was helpful for you. If year-round homeschooling is something that you've considered, really start praying about it and look into it and see what might work for your family. And you might be one of those people that needs to plan out your year and plan out what weeks you're going to take off. And that is fine too. I showed you the way we do it. Nobody has to do it the same way. That's the beauty of homeschooling. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about how we year-round homeschooler, or why, or what curriculum we use, feel free to leave me a comment in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more homeschooling videos and thrifty lifestyle videos. I have something coming every single week, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.